Hello everyone, and now welcome to another 2v2 matchup. Let me go ahead and pull up the names. It is going to be Godfather and Lubber. Godfather spawning as the dark green undead, and Lubber spawning as the dark green undead, going up against Quax, who is spawning as the or Quai is spawning as the bright green undead, and finally rounding it out, SDmK spawning as the bright green night elf. Night elf undead versus undead. Can I do blue versus red? I cannot. It doesn't let me. These are the colors that the Warcraft 3 is giving me. Green versus dark green here on Norwood. Um, been quite some time since I've seen the six player map, and it is close spawns here on the matchup. Undead being next to undead. All right, we're looking at a lot of buildings being summoned here, really very, very deep on these gold mines. And it's quite actually interesting to see like the older original Reign of Chaos maps and these older maps, how the layout of the gold mine is much more further back and tucked in than many more of the modern maps. What time is it, Crota? Almost 4 p.m. It is almost 7 a.m. my time. This is probably the only time during the day that I can cast without interruption, as my kids do wake up by 7:30. So yeah, that's why I wake up at 5:30, get in some exercise, so I'm hopefully rejuvenated for some Warcraft 3 to share along all of you. All right, but people mostly watch Twitch. Yeah, that's true. Most people do in fact watch Twitch, but I don't have the time to really be a full-time streamer on Twitch, and I think I think my YouTube community actually appreciates that, um, that they can watch me, I guess, with VODs as well. It's enough to pay for the upgraded internet and the ability to check all of and any correspondences. I used to get a lot of contacts. Blizzard would reach out to me, ask me questions, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Blizzard has really changed as a company over the past couple of years, or over the past 8 years, and since I've had the privilege of visiting the campus. Back in the day, there was a really strong PR team, a public relations team that worked with all of the community fan sites. Like the Blizzard official fan sites was a really big thing. And then all of the events at BlizzCon just for the fan sites, where fan sites got to be able to work together. Things have changed. I'm not gonna. There's a okay. First of all, there's a lot of, I guess, hate for the fact that Activision took over, or Activision Blizzard merged, and they almost talk about Activision Blizzard. Oh, they're only trying to make money. You know what? It is what it is, right? A company is trying to make money so it can pay its employees, it can make great games and continue to do what it's trying to do. The problem isn't that the company is trying to make money. The problem is that Blizzard as a company has really gone away from its core values, that are written literally in stone, in the cement around their main campus. They've lost their way a little bit in terms of buy gamer for gamers, and that perhaps is the biggest loss there. I still think Activision Blizzard can still make great games. They still do. There's still a lot of great people who work there. I'm just hoping that there will be a refocus on this buy gamer for gamers, and make the games fun, and see where things go. Anyways, SDmK and Quai now battling up in the middle portion of the map here. There is a fountain of mana down, so the Death Knight should be able to land a lot of death coils off over here. This could potentially be a problem, as the Death Knight can just start death coiling things down and start putting pressure down that way. The Dread Drake sitting at only 300 or 267 hit points. The Death Knight can just stay there and try and death coil this thing down to death. as the Death Knight now wanders back here. It still has that fountain of mana. The Death Knight can just stay there and then just launch those death coils. It only needs what 3 more death coils to finish it off and then have full access to that fountain of mana. It's not about that, Crota. You know it. It's about the disrespect. Well, it's not about the disrespect. It's the fact that they don't listen to they don't listen to their core audience anymore. Keeper of the Grove, SDmK, gonna go ahead and Scroll of Town Portal back out, and the internet is a very strange thing. The internet, well, ooh, this could be a problem. Quai in a lot of trouble here, down to, 44 hit points. Is it going to be able to escape? No, it is not. Carrion Swarm ripping through, and the Death Knight had already lost its Scroll of Town Portal, so the Dreadlord gets that final shot off there. Dark Green now going to be running up on 3 bases here. SDmK is still sitting at Tree of Life, a single Ancient of War. Things are not looking good here. Keeper of the Grove once again getting slept as the units are trying to back away. No, I think they've lost. I think they've lost their. In terms of business speak, they've lost their core values. They've lost their identities and what really made them strong and what really worked for them. I think that is the main issue here. Death Knight going to be up to 75 mana. Come on, Death Coil. It's at 96. Come on, there you go. Finish it off. Picks up the Tome and now picks up the Boots of Quel'Tha Lost. Meanwhile, back across here, Huntresses are going to go ahead and put pressure here. Acolytes going to get taken down here. One Nerubian Tower as more Acolytes are being trained at this necropolis here. I think nobody from the old company actually works there still. Imagine if this game is casted in Reforged. So yeah, that is... No, there are still... Actually, I don't know if anyone on the WarCraft 3 team is still okay. I know what Chris Metzen, Chris Sigady, the 2 people who were actually the people overseeing, I guess, the producers for the game. I don't believe are there any longer overseeing the story. Got to meet them. They were really nice guys. Yeah, really got to meet them. I don't know. I'm just starting to reminisce about the old days as I should be casting this matchup here. Anyways, there's so much green. I really can't tell you what's going on. That's really the issue here. All I know is Night Elf and an Undead going up against. Yeah, green is beating up on green as green is trying to run away from green, and green is trying to escape as. Well, green is going to be protecting green's expansion. All right, SDmK. SDmK making its way back across here. Ancient Protectors are down, but the Ancient Protectors not taking any damage from that Carrion Swarm there. It is not Shockwave, as the Huntress or the Ancient Protector finally taking a little bit of damage here. Light green or bright green able to, I guess that, no. Is that... Wait, hold on. Okay. No wonder the colors were confusing. It was actually... It was even more confusing than it needed to be, because it was actually... yeah, okay, here, let me actually turn on ally colors. There we go. Okay, so it is Quai and SDmK going up against GodFather. So it is finally... Is this the right greens? No, it's still not the right greens. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, apparently the colors were still off. All right, so we are now looking at dark green versus bright green. The colors are finally set up to how they should be. Ally colors with map colors looking right. It wasn't quite there. GodFather and Lubber losing their expansion over here on the top right-hand side of the map. Quai sitting with a level 1 Lich, a level 4 Death Knight, going up against with a level 3 Keeper of the Grove. Meanwhile, Lubber off over here has a level 2 Lich Where is the Death Knight? Death Knight, of course it is impossible to spot. Though there's Lubber's a Death Knight right there. Level 3, level 2, level 4, level 1. Lich does have that Orb of Corruption already. QuaiX does not have that Orb of Corruption as of yet, even though we are at Black Citadel, and now adding in a Crypt Lord. Getting into this situation, 27 over 30 supply, 47 over 50, going up against 48 and 36. Pretty much, well, it looks like Lubber and GodFather are actually a little bit behind in terms of supply, as GodFather's Haunted Goldmine actually still just being left behind here. Perhaps the Ancient Protector will be making its way over to take it down. Obsidian statues, can they regenerate extra mana at the Fountain of Mana? No, it does not. All right, so Fountains of Mana do not benefit mechanical units, only biological units. As we saw right there, the Obsidian statue walking on by, well, unable to get any extra mana. But I do think when it turns into a destroyer, it is supposedly able to regenerate mana, but I don't think it's actually there. It's negative mana on the destroyer, perhaps not enough to offset. Lubber gonna be losing this Haunted Goldmine once again. A quick kill of an Acolyte once more, as the units are going to be making their way through again. All right. SDmK, his base actually very sparse right now. Only one Ancient of War off next to this location here, as we're looking at Lubber going after the Granite Golem creep camp. This is actually a really high level creep camp here. Obsidian statues preparing a lot of heal as the Crypt Fiends are trying to spread apart, but SDmK finds his opponent. This is going to be a very, very bad day. Lich could end up getting taken down. It gets taken down very fast there. Death Knight now trying to back up as the items are actually left behind for QuaiX to pick up. QuaiX and SDmK being able to finish off the remainder of the creep camp, gets the kill on the level 2 Lich, and picks up the Spiked Collar for mana burn. That Fell Stalker summon unit should be able to perhaps get even more damage here, as we are looking at Lubber's main base now in a bit of trouble. Looking back across here, it looked as though an ancient or a tree of life was trying to be built. That was quickly stopped, as GodFather now needs to run all the way back across the map to try and protect this location here. All right, level 411 for your information, as QuaiX takes down the Altar of Darkness and now puts in pressure on Lubber's base here. We're at the 12-minute mark in this game, and it looks as though QuaiX and SDmK is going to be able to just continue to press this advantage until they guarantee victory, with Obsidian statues, Huntresses, and Crypt Fiends just maxing out all of that damage here. Lubber trying to back away with one of his Crypt Fiends that he trained up, and is it going to get taken down? Yes, it will, as this, Fell Stalker is still adding in more damage again. Another Crypt could get taken down. One or two more shots should do it, and while damage could be coming across there goes an Impale. Necromancers are joining in on the fight as the Meat Wagon quickly gets taken down. All right, Lubber's Crypt still at 70 hit points. Fight still getting underway. More damage getting added through, as Lubber trying to get back into position here, running past QuaiX and SDmK to be able to fight on Blight. Lubber now finally sitting at level 3 on his Lich, does have an Orb of Corruption as well. Death Knight being forced to retreat back. There goes a Carrion Swarm. Death Coil to try and save, as the Death Knight uses Death Pack to heal back up. Destroyers are now up in the air, going after some of those units. Trent's coming out of the woodwork to finish off more units again, as it does not look as though the Necromancers are really going to be able to help all that much. Destroyers of QuaiX should be able to devour magic any of GodFather's skeletons pretty quickly and easily, as the Death Knight is found sleeping on the job. However, he wakes up in time to heal up QuaiX or his own Pit Lord again, as we're looking at 3-1 upgrades by QuaiX, continuing this push. Lich could end up getting taken down. No, Death Coil found right there, as Lubber pushing back the Crypt Lord once more, and the Godfather with those Necromancers. Are they going to try and animate more dead? Yes, they are, but the Destroyers are just going to turn back around and just be able to really devour magic and finish those units off pretty quickly. All right, Lich looking to back away. Godfather Kwai still. Well, they're not friendly units. I don't know why they're walking next to each other as the units finally backing up here. We are getting up an Ancient Protector just to scout out here. SDmK has the Keeper of the Grove, and the Huntress is retreating back. Death Knight going to be standing next to the Fountain of Mana. Perhaps get a lot more mana and be ready for a next push in just a moment. Obsidian Statue also making its way over as Lubber takes this opportunity to try and heal. Now, I don't know if who would have thought going necromancers and meat wagons, a necro wagon going up against an undead with destroyers. That seems like a recipe for your own destruction, as the destroyers with 3-2 upgrades going to be able to just devour magic, get mana, deal more damage, and heal themselves up continually, as we see Entangles now go down onto those Crypt Fiends to try and, well, stop them before they web down Kwai's destroyers. Units are going to be continuing to push here. There's some meat wagons. Well, are they going to be able to retreat back? That is the question. Now more devour magic. That one destroyer representing a complete shutdown of SDmK's Keeper of the Grove. All right, fighting. Trying to fight on Blight here. No range units for Kwai at all. And, well, Wisps are now making their way across the center portion of the map. SDmK sitting at 23 over 50 supply. Is he funneling gold? He's funneling gold to Kwai, and Kwai is sitting at 70 over 80. All right, sitting at 70 over 80, now trying to put pressure onto the actual base of Lubber when, Godfather's base was heavily fortified. Units are now going to be making their way back down, but Godfather is bringing meat wagons to this party, so they should be able to put a lot of pressure onto SDmK's main base, or any base for that matter, when the time comes. Having that little bit of siege damage represents such a large threat, as we're looking at a Crypt Fiend, well, perhaps going to get taken down here. All right, Crypt Fiend getting webbed. It is going to get destroyed pretty easily, as the units are now retreating back again. All right, this green army moving across green, so difficult to spot. Lubber going to try and protect his own base as it is getting destroyed, as Banshees are now getting added in once more. Where is the other army of Godfather? I don't see Godfather's army anywhere. Godfather's army right in the middle of the map, hiding out at the Fountain of Mana. All right. Quantity versus quality. Always go for yep, we'll see. Coming back across into the middle portion, I'm glad Edu1 that you are enjoying the streams. I wish more people would enjoy the streams as well. Would make all the time that I spend casting just much more. Just give me more reason to cast, I guess. Being able to enjoy the stream alongside so many people. Need to check PayPal for subbing. That'd be great. Anyways, Necromancers, lying in wait. Necromancers at the Fountain of Mana. That is actually an interesting call here. Necromancers normally are very mana intensive, draining your obsidian statues. Even though the Fountain of Mana can't fill the obsidian statues, you only need obsidian statues for health now, considering that the Necromancers can gain mana back at that Fountain of Mana. The downside, though, is that the obsidian statues don't know the difference between healing real units and healing summoned units, so the obsidian statues could also themselves run out of mana just trying to heal those skeletons instead of healing actual real units. Scroll of Town Portal coming across here. What item is left behind? I want to know. Mantle of Intelligence +3, not that big of a deal. Army going to be landing back down as the meat wagons and necromancers are now making their way through. Death Knight already, making their way through there, as we are looking at a level 5 Dreadlord finishing off a handful of units with that carry-on swarm. SDmK, his army is still extremely non-existent at this point. 21 over 50 supply, funneling until Kwai is now nearly at high upkeep, sitting at 76. Godfather and Lubber actually both sitting in no upkeep. So Godfather and Lubber has the actual economic advantage. They are mining 20 gold a second compared to 17 gold a second between Quai and SDmK. And because SDmK only has 24 supply worth of units, they're actually well 25 24 plus 90 now. Okay, never mind. They are taking the lead in overall supply, now having 130 about 130, as we are getting into some frostworms sitting on over 1300 gold. And what a interesting strategy by SDmK and Quai to use, well, this just a bank of night elf funnel the undead army, many who consider the more powerful race here. So SDmK, this is pretty much just an expansion for Quai at this point and stage in the game. Death Knight, well, sitting at level 4. Keeper of the Grove sitting at level 4. If it can get to level 5, that will be a big deal. Looking to get a little bit more mana as well. Destroyers are up in the air. We are looking at about 90 over 100 supply here. Acolytes are still mining gold. The gold mines will be mined out as we are now getting into an engagement here. Destroyers, are we going to be able to devour magic? It will finish off all of those units. Scroll of Protection, that looks delicious, says the Destroyers, as we are looking at more sides fighting again. Meat Wagons actually landing in a large amount of damage onto that backside here, as the Destroyer should really be trying to devour magic across all of those skeletal minions again. All right, is it all on cooldown? That is the question that should be asked, as the Keeper of the Grove now sits at level 5. Death Knight does have, well, anti-magic shell to try and protect, as we are seeing detonations being used alongside here. Destroyer getting taken out. Not quite sure why it didn't try to devour magic somewhere, and what was actually taking it down there. All right, more units continuing to fall here as GodFather and Lubber go up against, well, SDmK and Quai. Quai level 3 on that Crypt Lord. Death Knight of Lubber being forced to retreat once again. GodFather, is he going to try and save this necropolis? I believe he might. Death Knight of Quai sitting at level 5. Keeper of the Grove is still right here. More damage adding on through as the Carrion Swarm ripping through some of those Crypt Fiends again. Scroll of Town Portal. Destroyers should just be going after that Meat Wagon. Take it down. Does not take it down in time. It is able to escape at 16 hit points. All right, that Meat Wagon represented a good amount of experience as well. Was not taken out. Haunted Gold Mine now lost, as the Keeper of the Grove gonna go ahead and use that Staff of Teleportation, head back home, drink up from the Moonwells, and then make its way back out. All right, having a Moonwell off over by this Fountain of Mana just for easy access for spotting and for a Staff of Teleportation does make a lot of sense, as SDmK is just really trying to choke out GodFather and Lubber. All right, GodFather, Lubber, they are both sitting at low upkeep right now. Lubber, no upkeep for GodFather, going up against low upkeep and perhaps no upkeep, down to 12 supply for SDmK. Units are retreating back once more. I believe the upgrades are just that much better for Quai, and that's why it makes more sense to give the gold to Quai. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, 300 gold in the hands of the Night Elf does not represent very much, but 300 golds in the hands of the Undead represents a fully upgraded Hitman. Thank you for the raid. Wow, Hitman, you are still playing now? That's crazy. Yeah, shouldn't you be going to... Actually, no, I think you're East Coast. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. All right, Death Knight. Now, I'm still not quite sure why raids don't get populated on my channel. I was pretty sure I had those notifications on. Oh, Hitman is West Coast. Yeah, Hitman's West Coast. Is he from San Francisco then? And anyways, Hitman went on a short ladder stream. Hitman plays like 500 games a day. That is true. Hitman is definitely the hardest working American player in for Warcraft 3. So hats off to you. As well, Fountain of Mana here. Death Knight, Lich, Dreadlord making its way back off to the north. Thank you, everyone, for tuning on in. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying this crazy 2v2 matchup, as Quai now back up into high upkeep. SDmK still funneling into his partner The problem being is that GodFather is going to be setting up an expansion here in just a second, and the Dreadlord is nearly at level 6. Dreadlord at level 6 does represent the Infernal, and the Infernal being able to summon down a land across some units is a very big deal, considering that the majority of Quai's army is dealing magic damage. Infernal, as you know, is magic immune. The destroyers and those frostworms will not be able to touch it, leaving making it very easy for the Dreadlord's Inferno to just deal a large amount of damage there. The problem, though, is the Necromancer, GodFather does have meat wagons here that are going to be very, very vulnerable to all of that magic damage from these 3 frostworms and these 3 destroyers. Quai's army, very scary indeed. 3 full upgrades, 94 supply, as another abomination going to be rolling or moving on out here in just a moment. And are we going to be looking at an engagement? Nope, not quite yet. Grove sitting at level 5, making his way over to the Fountain of Mana. Destroyer is not gaining mana at all. We're going to be doing a little bit of push as well. Abomination going to try and engage here, and here we are. Destroyers, Frostworms making their way through a big impale across the center portion of that army, and this could be the battle for everything. Meat Wagons in the back, Crypt Fiends in the back here, fighting next to the Fountain of Mana. Green on green, with anti-magic shell being green as well. Dreadlord now out in play. Infernal comes in, stuns down many of those units in that backline spot. Death Knight with the Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, trying to stay alive. Lubber backing up as quickly as possible. Deathclaw trying to save his own units here, as the Frostworms are getting healed up as well. All right, fighting next to this Fountain of Health, and this I don't care if this is classic graphics. It is so difficult to tell what's happening, as a dark green Death Knight gets taken down, giving the Keeper of the Grove level 6. However, a quick sleep from GodFather's Dreadlord finishes that off there, making sure that the Keeper of the Grove no longer has access to heal. 60-second cooldown. GodFather still trying to continue to push here, as damage is still racking back up. The Necromancer starting to add up a little bit more. Potion of Invulnerability used on the Lich, perhaps a little bit prematurely by Quai. Quai can still get off a lot of Frost Novas here, as damage is still adding up onto the more of those units. Dreadlord is getting up to level 7 now. Potion of Invulnerability used there as well, as Quai trying to back away. Quai should perhaps be trying to get a Death Coil off. There goes a Frost Nova onto the Lich there, as Quai loses his level 5 Lich. And there's the well played, as Quai trying to retreat back, loses his Crypt Lord as well. And SDmK, now has to deal with this large army of skeletons. Quai and SDmK losing to Lubber and GodFather, who were able to outlast and outfight in that center Fountain of Mana battle. Green versus green on Knollwood, an impossible game to cast, especially with the colors not lining up for the first 8 minutes. Quai really doing a great job just using all of the gold that SDmK was giving him. But I do wonder if SDmK should have gone to tier 2 and at least gotten got the Priestess of the Moon. I think even going to tier 3 and then going Keeper of the Grove, Priestess of the Moon, and then an additional range hero for multiple Orb of Venom. You are investing a little bit of gold, but having access to Orb of Venom in that final battle perhaps would have been huge. Also having access to True Shot Aura, being able to overlap those abilities just a little bit more. And having unrealized supply really hurts in a 2v2 matchup. We were looking at Lubber and GodFather. They were both sitting at 50 supply and 50 supply, both in no upkeep, both being able to get maximum gold out of their gold mines for a very long time, compared to Quai and SDmK. Quai was sitting at 70, even 80 supply at right on that cusp, and SDmK sitting at like 29. They had the larger supply overall, but it didn't really translate out onto the battlefield. If SDmK just had 2 extra heroes going up to 40 supply, yes, he would have had to spend the gold to tech to tier 2 and tier 3. Yes, I understand that, but that gold seems like it would have been worth it, as then the overall, it would have been 120 supply army with more heroes going up against 100 supply army, and then offsetting a little bit of that taxation right there. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Warcraft 3.